I want to talk about why it is so hard for us women to feel sexy. Because it's an issue. So many of us just struggle to feel sexy and struggle with sex and struggle with, like, should I feel sexy? Am I allowed to feel sexy? Like, how should I deal with this? So, here's the thing. We, as women, have been taught that, we should be sexy. At the same time, we should be sexy and we should not be sexy, and we should not know that we're sexy, and we should not really feel sexy. We should just be sexy, but also kind of not be sexy. You see, like, I feel like all of us are so confused, and at the same time, we feel that there is, from some sources, this pressure to look sexy and be sexy, and then from other sources, it's like, don't be sexy, you should avoid that, don't dress like that, you shouldn't be like that, you shouldn't think that way, you shouldn't talk that way. So we're just so confused of, like, how should we be? Should we be sexy or not? Like, that already makes us very, like, it makes it complicated for us to feel sexy, because we're like, should we even feel sexy? Like, we don't even know if that's allowed, and that's something that we should. And I'm here to tell you that yes, you are allowed. You get to choose that, you allow yourself to feel sexy. And the problem is that if we think that, okay, we follow the belief that we should be sexy, and when we follow that, we're like, okay, what is sexy? Because you're always, based on the media, based on the messaging that we get, we're always either too much something or too little something. Either we're too skinny, we're too fat, we are too outspoken, too confident, or we're too shy, and that's not sexy enough. And we're like, what is it? Like, how should I be to be actually sexy? And that is why, if you actually want to feel sexy, you have to stop following what the world tells you what sexy actually means, because it is something unattainable. It's something that you can never ever actually achieve, because it just doesn't it doesn't really even exist, in my opinion. It doesn't really even exist, because if you follow the media's idea of it, even someone who is seen as a very, very sexy person, there are going to be so many people who think that no, that person is not sexy. So there isn't a universal idea of sexiness. So what you have to do is to decide that I am going to define what sexy actually means myself. What makes me feel good about, like, when you think of what does sexy mean, think about, what do you want it to mean? For you, what would make you feel the best? What would make you feel the most empowered and confident? And don't follow whatever the media and the world is telling you that is sexy, because you don't have to. You really, really don't have to. And I know that after years of brainwashing into thinking that that is sexy and that is not sexy and that is also sexy and you should be this way and you also shouldn't, it is so confusing and it's so hard to let go of those ideas. But start to, like, evaluate and look at the things that you consider sexy and be like, do I really think that this is sexy, or is it because the media and because the society and the world and everyone is making me think that this should be sexy? And because even with the whole sexiness, it goes in trends. Like, there are moments when, when tits, like big tits, were the thing, and now the ass is the thing, and who knows what the next thing is. So there is no point in following whatever the media and the world is telling you about being sexy, because it's gonna be constant, like, chase after those ideas that keep changing, and you will never ever be fully fulfilled and happy with yourself if you just keep following those things that you can never actually achieve. And another thing that I want to mention is that in our society, we are basically taught and encouraged to criticize ourselves, and that is what leads to so many insecurities. We, like, in our culture, it's fine if you hang out with your friends and you're like, oh, I feel so fat, I feel like I feel so ugly. That's, like, more okay than you hanging out with yourself and being like, oh my god, I feel so pretty. Like, I know that you now listen, like, if I would now say that and be like, right now, I feel really beautiful, I feel really good about my body, you would be like, what a bitch, like, what's wrong with you? And that's how our society has taught us to think and act, is like, it is okay for you to criticize yourself, but it's not okay for you to love yourself and be happy with yourself. And as long as that is the way that we live, we're never gonna be happy with ourselves. We're never gonna feel sexy, because it's like, I shouldn't really feel sexy. Like, I'm gonna be criticized for that. Like, people are not gonna like me if I actually think that I'm sexy. So it is this constant just like battle between what we have been taught of how we should act and what we should think. And I'm here to tell you that you get to choose what you want to believe. What is the most empowering thing for you to believe? And then if it requires, if you're like, yeah, no, fuck that, I don't want to be like that, I don't want to live in the world where it's not okay for me to love myself, I want to be an example of, you know, I feel good about myself, I'm gonna share that. When I'm gonna see my friends, I'm gonna be an example of being like, let's make this okay. Let's make it okay that I, first of all, wanna feel good about myself. I wanna feel sexy, and that is okay. And then, after you have accomplished that, it's like, right now I feel sexy, and it's okay for me to feel sexy. And it's like, I feel like there's a big part of just even like between us women that we feel that there's such a competition. We feel like there's so much just criticism between us, and us not supporting each other, instead of hating on each other and judging each other, when we should be supporting each other, because that's the only way that we can even personally as an individual feel good. When we support other people and we show positive example to other people, that's only when we can actually feel good. Like, we all freaking women should unite and together decide that it is okay for you to feel beautiful. It is okay for you to feel sexy, and it's okay for you to want to feel sexy. It's okay for you to feel sexy. I won't judge you. I won't think that you're a bitch, because you're not, because that is beautiful and that is so strong and admirable. When you want to feel good about yourself, and when you actually do, I admire you. I think that is amazing. So can we agree on that? Can we all just please agree on that? And lastly, pay attention to what you consume, because every single day, every single minute, when you watch a video like this, when you watch TV, when you scroll on Instagram, whatever you do, you are consuming. And pay attention to what do you consume and how does it make you feel. Does it help you to feel better about yourself, sexier, or does it make you feel less sexy? And does it make you feel like, oh, I'm not like that, and that's what sexy actually is, and I cannot be like that? And like, pay attention first of all, and then decide that I'm not going to consume that anymore, because that does not make me feel good. And that way you're also voting with the time and the way that you're consuming things. When you don't like that photo that is promoting something that you don't want to promote, when you don't, purchase those things that just promote insecurity and us feeling like we're not enough in the way that we are, you're voting and you're changing the world with your small actions. But just pay attention to what you consume and how does it make you feel, because you don't have to keep on consuming those things. It's so important that we pay attention to like daily things, the tiniest things, how do those things make us feel, and do we want to feel that way? And if we don't, we have the choice to not consume that. So can we just now together decide that it's okay for you and for me to want to feel sexy, and it's okay for you and me to feel sexy, and we get to define what that means. I have a different image of what sexy means, you have a different image, and that's okay, that's amazing. And we have to stop also shaming each other for wanting to be sexy and feel sexy. Whatever it means for you, whatever it means for me, it is okay. And we should just embrace that, because the better you feel about yourself, the better person you're gonna be on this planet, and the better we are all gonna feel when you let yourself to feel sexy. There's no freaking shame in that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below which part of this really, empowered you the most. What made you think about this the most? Like, how do you feel about this topic? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And if you're not already subscribed, then definitely subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. And while you wait for the next video, definitely check out these videos, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Have an amazing day. Bye guys.